was just sleeping in my class in broad daylight.
Crazy?
Crazy?
Hey, amigo,
No
help!
worry, no fight. We no eat meat. We vegetarians.
Andy, come in the house. In a minute, Mom, okay?
Hello out you all there wonderful people watching across the world. My name is Gamessnia and welcome to the Gamessnia show yet again, ladies and gentlemen, where I always take games from the past, present, or maybe even sometimes the future and decide what their judgment is going to be. And you know what guys, I was really baffled to be honest, because recently I had no idea what I was going to do for the Gamessnia show next. And I noticed I played the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3, and I talked about the PlayStation 4 and 5 games in my PlayStation 5 discussion. But then I was thinking to myself, I have never done a PlayStation 1 game on this channel, like, ever. But you know, the fact I've never talked about a PlayStation 1 game on this show before is kind of an insult, because PlayStation is where this show started and originated from. I've always loved PlayStation consoles, but the fact that I've never talked about the originator, the original PlayStation on this channel is fucking insulting. So that is why I've easily thought myself, I'm talking about a PlayStation 1 game for my next episode. So then I went onto Reddit and I looked upon so many infamous PlayStation games, because I don't know much about its library because I didn't grow up on it as much. And that's when I saw a major list of games. But there was one game out of the majority of them that just kept popping up, at least 20 times in fact. And because it just popped up so much on that whole poll of it, I just thought to myself, you know what? I have to get it. And it's a game that I have been avoiding for so long when it comes to playing new games. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to do it for my next episode of the Gamessnia show. And that is when I got it. So today, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever for me actually playing this game, and a major big game to talk about on the Gamessnia show, we are of course going to be talking in this Gamessnia show episode about Heart of Darkness. This is actually a game that I have been wanting to play for so goddamn long, but the opportunities just kept going and going because I just couldn't be bothered getting it or buying it, or because I just didn't have, like, you know, funds in my bank and all that to actually get it. So it's easily giving me a nice vibe to start off with. So honestly, it's all good from go here, because this is probably one of the best PlayStation 1 games of all time, and I want for one to find that out for myself. Ah, Heart of Darkness.
I've been looking forward to this.
5 years, right? 5 years is too long for me, and now I get to see why and how this game is what it is. So let's get this show on the road.
Fascinating, perhaps even terrifying. Andy! Have you not enough again?
No, I was just...
Sleeping!
What the fuck is that? That shit scared the everlasting fuck out of me. Now I know why of all things people talk about the FMVs in Heart of Darkness. Beforehand, I feel I had no place to put a comment across on this, but now I can safely confirm to myself that FMVs in Heart of Darkness are all ugly dumpster fires and just ugh, I shiver to think about it. Sometimes even more so than the shitty attempts at CGI in movies, and trust me, I've seen way too many of those to know what I'm talking about. Also, gotta love how a teacher locks a 15-year-old kid in a locker for sleeping in class. You know, it's the little things in life you gotta enjoy for once in a while. So Andy apparently loves spending time with his dog Whiskey. Yeah, that's his name. You named your dog after an alcoholic beverage. Nice move, kid. And he goes out to the park one day with him when all of a sudden the sky turns dark and black everywhere and monsters appear from the sky and manages to take Whiskey the dog. I don't even know. So Andy decides to chase after Whiskey and attempt to rescue him from this army of monsters. Before I can go any further, I want to rewind back a bit to the beginning before the whole Twilight Zone-esque style of FMV started to invade my screen. The PS1 was the start of it all, and big epic intro cutscenes were not as popular and common as they are nowadays, so I have to give this space/galaxy style of epic proportions cutscene its props for its effort here. There's a lot of it here, and there were not a lot of stuff like this in this era of games, which in my opinion kind of makes it stand out more than the rest. Not that impressive nowadays, but obviously back then I can only just imagine how fucking awesome this probably was, and it still is kind of awesome to look at today.
Wow, it works! Hang on, Whiskey, I'm coming!
Andy, we have a problem here.
I know! Oh, no, shoot! Ah!
Andy, we have
Okay. Ugh. You're a big help, you know that?
Game? What's going on? Oh, shit, so that's us actually starting now. Fuck me, that background is done supremely mucho good. Oh, I see now. This game is a cinematic platformer. See, now I'm interested. If you guys don't know me well enough, then you'll seem to not know that I love cinematic platformers, especially that of Abe's Odyssey. I'm ready for this. Come on, game. You throw everything you got at me and I'll... I swear. Couple enemies? Ugh, that's it? Pathetic, I tell you. Ugh, I can deal with anything. Just throw anything at me. Oh, okay, that's a handful. I will admit that's quite a handful. But you know what? I got this. I'm like sensing that I got this in this game. But oh fuck, that's a lot though. Oh shit, that's a lot. No, fuck, that is a lot. Oh fuck, that is a lot. That's too much. We are now code red. Raise the DEFCON levels now. This is too much. Yeah, so I just want to say that I've never felt that type of adrenaline in a game before, like I just felt in that whole nightmare of a scenario just there. These fuckers just kept on coming towards me, and considering I didn't know much about the controls and how to attack and all that, that basically means you're just thrown in there a lot of the time, and this whole unseen army can just storm its way onto your screen with no idea on what any of them can do to you until it's too late, of course, which in the moment gets your blood boiling to a high point. I've never seen anything like it, to be frank. Who the fuck is Frank? Fuck off. Please fuck off. Fuck off! Okay then, now that that's sorted, where to now? I can't go through there, even though it looks like I can go through there, but never mind. Let's go back to where we were originally. Oh, we can climb stuff now, I guess. Seems logical, but it doesn't matter. I guess I'll just continue on with traversing this Jesus! Okay, again, that was really cool. I mean, that FMV was yet again really creepy, but that transition from gameplay to cutscene was actually really smooth, especially considering it was the PlayStation 1. I mean, wait a minute. That fucker took my gun. My own little gun. I neutered that gun since like 10 minutes ago. I connected with it with my own 2 bare palms.
I soaked it in olive oil, pickled it in vinegar, baked it in the oven. Now look at it.
I failed you. You trusted me. And I failed.
Yes, a big wall! Nowhere else to go here, actually, but I'm guessing this is where we have to climb up. Yeah, there you go, yeah. Yeah, see, a problem I'm already noticing is how majorly the interactive objects, you know, the stuff you need to progress the story and the gameplay, are so blended well in with the backgrounds, making me think that they are part of the background, so I can't actually advance in the story, making me so lost and confused a lot of the time, that honestly, I just want to... Hold on a second. Hold on a fucking second. Why won't Andy grab whenever I fucking jump to a ledge? Every time I jump, Andy doesn't respond to it most of the time. And you can note the words most of the time as I've managed to grab onto the ledges 1 or 2 times. So may I ask, what the fuck am I doing wrong here? Because I feel like I'm not doing that much different each time. Like, am I just dumb here? Or am I just like... Hold on, I'm getting the fucking manual. Because I honestly don't get this right now. Alright, I got the fucking case. I'm gonna find this out for myself. Because it doesn't actually fucking tell you how to actually maneuver about, and it doesn't tell you how to hold on to ledges and all that. So I'm actually gonna find out, and maybe I'm just being stupid or not. Hopefully I am being stupid, but you know, I'll actually read it and see what it actually says. Let's see, startup, recommendations, basic commands, plain number, controller diagram. Yeah, I don't need to put diagrams. Climbing, jumping, moves, no, there's nothing here about it, oh, climbing, here we go. In some sequences, Andy has to climb trees, walls, etc. He can climb forward, back, up and down the walls, and also fire using his powers. Well, at least you get to do that, that's nice to know. As well, let himself drop, jump and grab onto the wall and direction. Oh, you can actually move in different directions, that's nice. Buttons show roll, must be pressing hell with the buttons press immediately and jump it. Seriously? So, according to the manual, in order to grab ledges when jumping and platforming across in Heart of Darkness, you have to hold the jump button, not just press it, but you have to hold it in order to grab onto a ledge. And once you are on that certain ledge, you can let go of said button. Now, that sounds simple enough, and I feel like I may have overcomplicated a bit, but trust me, it's really easy. But why? Don't they tell you that in the game itself? Like, just a little tutorial or just a little message pop up on the screen to tell you, hold X to grab a ledge. Like, I know I could have read the manual to find it out easily, and I feel like an idiot for not reading the manual, but the fact that there's no tutorial message the first time you start climbing, or hell, even when you start the game when you have to jump off your ship, or shooting your gun when fighting off enemies. The fact it doesn't tell you any of the following tips or tutorials is something that really fucking annoys me from the start. Like, there was no reason not to include this here. They don't even give you tips. Oh wait, sorry, my bad. They actually do give you tips, but it's afterwards when the tips at that point are basically useless.
Useless.
Even though I know how to climb and jump properly, I honestly just can't get around with how fidgety the climbing can be at some points. And every time I took a jump in this game, I didn't feel confident making that jump, even when the gap was something so small that quite frankly shouldn't be that worrying in the first place. Oh, and it also doesn't help that Andy's jumps might be the most awkward looking jump I've ever seen in my life. The design of the game, however, is something that is not worrying and awkward, as it's something that resonates strongly with me as the amount of work they put into each environment and level, and how Andy interacts with it is really quite astounding. Even though the design at some points doesn't make sense to me, which by the way doesn't mind me too much, they all look fantastic for their time, and when something breaks or happens in the backgrounds, it generally looks so smooth and real, and doesn't feel like it was added in later when designing the levels. This, along with the sound design that honestly adds to the feeling of you being alone and scared, is what creates a great old feeling that I like to call immersion. Oh, but you think it stops there? Oh, no, 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 no. They be nailing everything design-wise here, including the creatures themselves. They have not really put too much effort into them and thinking time into all the designs of them, but honestly, I see that as kind of a good thing. Like, don't get me wrong, some of the enemies have a good amount of detail to them, but the ones you keep encountering from start to finish are probably the best looking ones in the game. And yes, they look basic, but in my opinion are probably the creepiest. They basically are black goo where the only thing detailed about them is their green eyes. And you know what? I think that's enough. I will admit the way they move is kind of creepy and how they can kill you is even more fucked up. And all of that adds to the dark and creepy tone of this game. The enemies are actually very well designed, and I truly believe a lot of the enemies are really good in that regard because they actually work well together with the other enemies to help defeat you. Like, they can save you sometimes, like I said, and they can also attack you when you're not thinking straight or when you're facing the other way. Yes, it can be a bit unfair sometimes, but I actually really appreciate the level of detail to the AI, and the designs, by the way, are fucking wicked. I don't use that word a lot, but they are wicked. Seriously. And honestly, a lot of the enemies, despite me getting angry a lot of the time during my gameplay through it, I still actually really enjoy fighting these enemies. And you know, they're all nice and fun to play against. That is, except when we get to the gargoyles. I have had a lot of moments in my time where I've had to deal with enemies that are either unfair or just plain ass annoying. And Heart of Darkness manages to be both. The gargoyles. The fucking gargoyles are the sole reason I was tempted to not finish this game, because of the bullshit I had to contend with the gargoyles. Every enemy in the game are easy to deal with, and the only really taxing things you need to worry about is knowing when to wait for them to attack you, so you can dodge them and counteract back with your own attack, or knowing what enemies to deal with beforehand, so you don't get fucked over. But these fucking little shits, they never want to stay in one position and fly all over the place and actually decide to place themselves where your 8 shots can't reach. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, you can actually shoot in 8 separate directions, which is something really cool I'll add, and just reminds me of something from Contra, only not as good. And it's actually a very helpful gameplay design choice to include. You know, when it actually fucking helps. But like I said, the gargoyles, no matter where you are on the screen, they always place themselves in the most unreachable place possible for you, because it will be in between the arcs of your attacks. And what makes things worse? What makes things worse is this is an enemy that has to be taken out ASAP, especially if they're anywhere except directly in front of you, because their attacks 90% of the time kill you without question because of how unavoidable they are a lot of the time, thanks to the one-hit kill mechanics the game has implemented. Which brings me to a point that I really want to talk about. I understand challenge was a thing that was needed in a game like this, but please tell me I'm the only one that hates one-hit deaths in video games, especially in this game. I hope I'm not, because honestly, I've never really liked the video game trope of that, and I think it's just a bullshit design choice for a game, and there have only been rare times where I've actually liked it, like Super Meat Boy or Hotline Miami, and they have been perfect reasons for being like that, as they are trial and error games that test your endurance and ability. And for another thing, once you die in those games, you respawn almost instantaneously, giving a fast-paced game. But here's the difference between those games and Heart of Darkness. Heart of Darkness is meant to be a slow, drawn out cinematic experience of a game where taking your time is a must, and that's why one-hit deaths just don't work here, and quite honestly damages the game's reputation, and quite frankly was something I fucking hated in this game. Let's continue onwards with the swamp, where I want to bring back something about the levels and their design and how unsettling it can be, especially here in the swamp. Granted, yes, it is fucking annoying with all the enemies and with the trial and error stupidity I talked about earlier, but holy shit, this game fucking delivers in the environment. I've never felt so unsettled in my life when playing a video game. Seriously, just everything is creepy here. and just gave me a feeling of I really don't like being here, especially with sounds like this looming in the background. Even when you get to an area that is semi-safe, the sounds only get worse. Oh, but you think we're at the peak of creepiness right now? Oh, just you wait, because after we fall down a rockside and walk through the jungle, we manage to kill a shadow creature and save a friendly local who looks like...
Andy! Ah, oh god! Oh my god! Oh my god! You can't hurt anyone anymore.
Oh my good God, what the actual fuck have I stumbled onto here? Fifi in the retarded squad? Like, what the fuck? What? I've never been so scared and so amused by something in my life. Like, you cannot make this shit up. This is actually legit. This is part of the game. Seriously, this is just too fucking funny. I have never said anything on the voice acting before because I didn't know where to start with it, I'll be honest. But oh boy, I think this is a nice start, ain't it? Costa Samble, fucking take it away.
Right down on him. And hey, this is bye-bye fat brain.
Okay, but you stay here while I get the rest of the pieces. Crazy! Hey, amigo, help!
No thanks. We know it me. We vegetarians. Me vamos, Sandy. Help amigos.
Okay, I'm going back to find whiskey.
Well, let's see if you're more alert in the dark. You can spend the rest of the hour in the cupboard.
You can't shut me up in there. I know my rights. My uncle's a lawyer.
And mine's a judge. Foreigner. Oh, wow. Afraid of the dark?
Bravo, Andy. Bravo.
Imbecile!
Please, Master. Maybe it's the boy in disguise. Oh, no. Not the wall again. No.
Andy, help! Amigos need you. Look,
What's wrong?
we're tired. His magic broke. Help!
But I'm out. I've got to find whiskey.
Andy, we cannot touch ground. We make shadow turn us bad. Malo!
It's that bad. Every single part of the voice acting in this game comes across as unbearable a lot of the time. And it's not just the locals, which seem like spawns of hell, that are bad. It's literally every single character that has a performance of a stabbed and dead cat, of which the main character, Andy, is probably the most insufferable and most worst performance ever done in this entire game. I just don't see how this is one of the best voice acted games on the PlayStation 1. If anything, I feel like I'm watching something off a CBBB's with this over-pandering voice acting that is best suited for children. Even though the voice acting is shit, the gameplay, honestly, is actually really enjoyable, especially when there are sections of constant waves of darkness creatures coming at you. It honestly kind of gets your heart racing in these parts as you have to deal with one-hit deaths, but it's actually very enjoyable when booting these sections as you have enemies from every single direction coming at you. So it's one of those things that makes you think on your feet. And honestly, every single time I did one of these certain sections, I felt my heart racing and got this certain rush inside of me and was loving every single moment of it. And I'm so glad out of all the things, this game actually gets a bit more challenging later on in the game because of these sections. And I'm very, very happy over that. But I'm just going to quickly retie the knot here and put it in another direction, because this game can go fuck off in the last quarter of the game. Now, I know I mentioned throughout this video how I fucking hate the one-hit deaths, and I know you're all probably sick of hearing that now, but this is the last time I'm going to talk about it, trust me. And no, that is not the reason why I hate the last quarter. That comes in the form of the unexplained new enemies and trial and error bullshit that makes its way into this game. So, throughout the game, you encounter these centipede enemies that you have to kill within 1 second, or they will kill you, and they are splattered all over this game, and trust me, that's not the problem I have here. They ain't as bad as the pre-mentioned gargoyles, they're just not that difficult most of the time. It's just instinct you have to have a lot of the time. But during the last portion of the game, there is a point in which new versions of these centipedes are introduced that are unkillable, unavoidable, and just straight out kill you instantaneously when you get in their attack window. But here's the thing about this. They don't fucking tell you this is a new enemy when you encounter them, or how you get around them. You're just supposed to magically know this, even though they look and move the exact same ones as the one before. They don't even design them differently, and they don't even move in a different way. You're just supposed to know that these are new enemies that you cannot kill. They give you nothing to go on, which the game does marvelously, I will admit. The whole game does the best job it can do to make you utterly confused most of the time, and have no idea what the fuck you have to do. It was like that for me the entire way round, and you may be a way to say, oh, it's because I'm an idiot and I suck at the game and I don't know how the game works, and I get you're gonna say that, and that's fine if you think that, but for the majority of the game, it just felt like a walk around and shoot everything until something happens game, which obviously made me not enjoy the game as much as I was hoping to, which to me is just pure fucking annoying, and I just did not enjoy majority of this game because of that fact. It's the same story with the plot. For supposedly one of the greatest games on the PlayStation, the depth to the plot is, well, there isn't any! The plot is one of the stupidest plots I have ever seen in a video game, and not even self-aware a lot of the time. It tries to take itself seriously, and I just didn't care about any of it. So when people say it's a great plot, I'm sorry guys, I just can't see it. And it's the same story with the characters. They are all just stock, bland, and forgettable characters you would throw into a school play to impress kids, especially Andy as the main character. And it's annoying as well, because I was hoping they would give a good ending to this. I thought there would be something. I thought there would be a silver lining at the end of it all. Something, anything. And what did I get?
Andy, what's going on up here?
Wow, Whiskey! Are you alright?
Now, you were supposed to be looking after him instead of playing up here by yourself. It's late. Come on, boys. Time for dinner.
Okay, Whiskey, let's see.
Fuck you. That ending right there made it so clear to me that I had just wasted my time. I had a prediction for this ending as a joke, but that was what it was, just a joke. And I joked around thinking, wouldn't it be funny if the ending was like a dream scenario? That would be the funniest shit ever. And that was what the ending was. So practically in turn, I predicted the ending to this. And that, ladies and gentlemen, why I, Gamessnia of the Gamessnia Show, is done. Okay, so I know I've been really harsh and negative on this game from the start, but the truth is, I was looking forward to this game so goddamn much, and I was excited to add this game to my favourite PlayStation 1 games. I was ready to do that immediate as I bought it online, even before I played it, or hell, even before I even popped it into my console and got it through the mail. I thought, I'm ready to add that to my collection. But the more I played it, the more I got annoyed and disappointed, and that is the main word I have to put there that honestly made it bad for me. Disappointment. I expected to love it, but I just didn't, and I don't get why people love it at all things. I can possibly understand why people like it, but there are some people out there that fucking love this game, and quite frankly, I don't get why. And hell, I fucking loved some parts of this game, especially the final section of the game, so really, I wanted to love this game more than anything. But the cold sad truth about it is that I didn't. And all I hope is that you can understand that me, Gamessnia, I don't like Heart of Darkness. I was expecting a really great game, to be honest, because obviously people keep on saying throughout the internet that Heart of Darkness is one of the greatest PlayStation 1 games of all time. And I've even heard people go as far as say, oh, it's better than Crash Bandicoot 3, and it's much better than Metal Gear Solid, and it's even better than Parappa the Rapper. And honestly, why do people think that? And I know that may seem to a lot of people like I'm trolling or I'm being an asshole, but I'm not joking when I say it's possibly one of the worst games I've ever played on the PlayStation 1. It's probably, I've played worse games, believe me, but it's not a good game, and I would rather play Oddworld. Oddworld at least is a bit, I understand why the FMVs are creepy, the gameplay is actually really good, and I actually like Abe, I like the main character, he's fucking hilarious, and he's wild and all that, I love that. But the kid in this game, who's the main character, I just want to slap because of the amount of times he's just being a complete idiot. Plus the voice acting is just, it just hurts my head because it's just so fucking loud half the time, like in terms of pitch and all that. It's just, oh, I don't get it. I really don't get why Heart of Darkness is considered one of the best games of all time. I don't get it. If you guys want to tell me what I'm missing here or what the picture I'm missing on how it's one of the greatest games, please enlighten me, because I would love to know. I would seriously like to know the truth about this game. But anyway, that is pretty much all I need to do for today for Heart of Darkness, because it's been a nice eye-opener for me, because at least I know now where this stands on this, because that is one thing that has been achieved for me today, and that is, even though I played a really bad game that I thought was going to be good, so color me disappointed, I'm still, at the end of the day, going to think myself, right, this is something I can add to my opinions of games around the world that I haven't played before. I now know, yeah, not a fan of Heart of Darkness, I don't get the hype, and I really am not a fan of it, and, you know, if you want to hate me for that, then that's fine, that is completely fine. Anyway, to all the people that, you know, don't want to kill me right now, I hope you enjoyed today's broadcast of the Gamessnia show. But I sure did. I mean, I can't wait till all the fucking comments I get with this video. This is gonna be real fun, I can tell you. But yeah, anyway guys, I all hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Gamessnia show, and I will all see you guys in the next broadcast of the Gamessnia show. But until then guys, Gamessnia signing off once more.